It's a new year, there's a new format, this is a new show. It's Monday, Movie Mayhem, and this is Animation Celebration. The first movie, or animated movie, for the Animation Celebration is Batman Year One. Before I even started rewatching this movie, I notated that it had five things going in its favor. One, I have the book. Two, I love the book. Three, I'm already a big Batman fan. Four, um, I pushed play and I saw the movie was under an hour and a half. It was actually 1 hour, 3 minutes. I was like, very nice. And the number five thing that's working in its favor is the voice of Bruce Wayne and Batman is Benjamin McKenzie, an actor I already like. So, after the open, I say we, but I am going to go over, review, and celebrate Batman Year One, the animated feature. So, stick around and hear all about Batman Year One. Before we talk about Batman Year One here on the Animation Celebration, let me talk about Everlasting Survivors Volume 1 all day long, my 68-page graphic novel. This is the Jeff Hicks cover. There were only ever 100 of these covers printed. There are less than 20% remaining. And yeah, there will be a link in the description for you to pick up your copy of a first printing before they sell out and before a new cover goes into print. Not this one. There are also cover Bs available from by Nick Crook. There were only ever 50 of these printed. Pick your Nick Crook cover up before they sell out. Now that the shilling's out of the way, let's talk about it. Batman Year One, the animated movie. My first note upon playing this film is Jim Gordon sounds perfect. Like, I forgot to take the note of who's doing the voice acting, but he sounds right. And when it comes to animation, the voice actor is very important. We all know Kevin Conroy, lent his voice to Batman in the animated series, and the same with Mark Hamill for the Joker. Voice acting, very important. Whoever got cast as Jim Gordon in this film did a great job. The movie establishes that Bruce Wayne is 25. He's returning to Gotham after being gone for 12 years. So, already setting up really good groundwork for the world building around it. I mean, and it makes sense due to it being Batman's first year as being Batman. When we meet Jim Gordon, he is a lieutenant. That means he's not the commissioner, the person we know him to typically be throughout the mythos of Batman. We meet the commissioner of this world. His name is Commissioner Loeb. He instantly feels dirty to me. I was like, this guy is not a good fellow. Which we go on to learn throughout the film that most of the cops are not good people. Most of them are dirty. And Commissioner Loeb, who is clearly named after Jeff Loeb, a prolific Batman writer himself, is no different than all the other dirty police folks throughout the film. Lieutenant Gordon's partner is Detective Flass, and yeah, he's no good either. He is 100% a bad man. A fun little fact about Benjamin McKenzie, who in this film plays Bruce Wayne slash Batman, he goes on to play a young Jim Gordon in the show Gotham. So, these things are far apart, but, there is that fun little connection between them. So, and on that topic of Benjamin McKenzie, the person who's playing the young Bruce Wayne in the film, before he figures out to be Batman, he has the skills to fight, but he doesn't understand what he needs to do. So he's just out there in disguise. He puts on makeup and a scar on his face, and he's trying to help clean up the the underbelly of Gotham, but does it really badly because nobody's scared of, you know, a guy with a scar on his face. And it's so much so that, like, he sees this little girl who they certainly give the impression is a prostitute in this world, and he's trying to help get her away from the pimp. But the little girl stabs him in the leg, and when he pushes her away, that's when Selina Kyle, Catwoman, hops out of a window and gets in on this big beatdown on Bruce. And the funny thing is, when the cops show up, they say freeze. Bruce doesn't move, and the cop still shoots him anyway because, you know, again, Gotham PD are not somebody you can trust in this here world, which is a good thing to establish because if Gotham PD were good at their jobs, if they were upstanding citizens, what's the point of Bruce? And by Bruce I mean Bruce becoming Batman. But yeah, it's just funny that even though they say, "Oh, freeze," and he does freeze, they still shoot him anyway. But yeah, the cop who doesn't shoot Bruce is like, "Geez, Eddie, he didn't move. Why'd you shoot him?" He's like, he was gonna move," which is so stinking harsh. But also funny. Obviously, Bruce isn't dead, and he wakes up in the back of the cop car, and the first words out of his mouth are, "Stop the car and get out," which I literally thought was so funny because even before Bruce becomes Batman, he still has that air of confidence, that boisterous nature, that I'm in charge here type of mentality. The cops don't listen, but they don't have that separator between the front and back. So Bruce chokes out the driver as the passenger cop tries to go at him or tries to pull his gun on him. Bruce stops him from shooting him, but the driver crashes the car. It catches fire, and Bruce has to save both these cops. You know, one that just shot him and another one that was trying to shoot him. And so Bruce is not having a good time when it comes to, you know, the beginning of him trying to figure out how to make things work. After Bruce breaks away from gets away from saving those two cops, we see him later, and he and Gordon almost hit each other as they're driving because Bruce is struggling to make it after, you know, being shot by a cop and going through all this nightmare of stuff. As they're intersecting each other, and unknowingly we see a sign that says Metropolis is only 75 miles away from Gotham City. So I think that's a fun little Easter egg, knowing that Gotham and Metropolis are so close to one another. The reason that we see Gordon driving, and, you know, when he and Bruce almost hit each other unknowingly, is because he's driving to get revenge on his so-called partner Flash and his friends who beat him down, because they see Jim as a detriment to their system they have going on here in Gotham, where all the cops are paid off. And so Jim Gordon is such a badass. He beats down his partner and leaves him handcuffed and naked in the snow. It says some line like, he'll never tell the truth. It'll be like 10 guys jumped him, because that's just who he is. His no good for nothing partner. At this point in the film, we see Bruce is lost and confused. He's talking to his dead father. He remembers his parents' death 18 years ago. And Benjamin McKenzie is really good at conveying the pain Bruce feels. While remembering his parents' death, a bat breaks through the window in the room where Bruce is at. And as the bat flies in, it rests on a bust of Bruce's dad, Thomas Wayne. And in that moment, Bruce knows what he has to do, and he thanks his father. Well, he says, "Yes, Father," as if he is thanking him for helping him figure out what he needs to do. After that, we go back to Jim Gordon. He's going to stop the SWAT guys because, again, just like every other cop over here in Gotham, the SWAT dudes are outside their minds. They're crazy as all get out. And so Gordon goes to this hostage situation and stops SWAT from breaking in, because he's like, if these guys go in there, all the hostages are going to be dead. So Gordon goes, he talks to the hostage taker, talks him down just long enough to where he can knock him out, and save 4 kids that this crazy dude had held hostage. And this really helps get Gordon in good with the press, and which kind of handcuffs the bad cops from doing anything, because now he's a known entity within the press, and that kind of makes it hard for them to do bad things to Gordon. So that's a good thing on his side. We're now 20 minutes into the movie, and we finally get our first look at Batman. He stops these 3 kids, I mean teenagers, kids, whatever, from stealing a safe, but he stops them only by basically just dumb luck, because it's 3-on-1, and like they're doing really well against him, surprisingly so. I mean, he ends up stopping them, but man, he has a hard time because this is the first time Batman's out trying to do good. I mean, Bruce has done things, but not. He didn't have much luck his first time out either. Back at the police station, Detective Flash describes an encounter with Batman, and it is epic. His tail makes him unnatural. Bullets fly right through him. Although realistically, they shot his cape. But in his story, it's it's big, it's grand, it's over the top. After the explanation to the police about what Batman's capable of, we see Batman going to this big meeting of all these Gothamites, both criminal and government, although I repeat myself, I guess. And we see that Batman has a knockout gas, or some sort of agent that'll knock people out. So that's the way that he's able to break in and give all these dirty government types and big bad criminals a talking to say, now, kids, I'm the boss here, type of thing, because that's what Bruce is doing. He's here to clean up the streets. I mean, I'm not quoting it obviously, but like he's just very, hey, I'm the law now, sort of thing. Because Jim Gordon doesn't know that Bruce Wayne is Batman, he initially suspects it's Harvey Dent, because he knows that the criminal element and the corrupt government are preventing him from advancing in his career, and so he confronts him. And every time that Batman has done something, Harvey Dent has had an alibi for what he would, where he would have been. So Jim is kind of at a loss, and upon Jim leaving, confronting Harvey, we see that Harvey's actually been helping Batman, and that's how he knows where to be and what to do to help to get the right thing going. Jim's new partner, after after all the problems he's had with Flash, is it's a lady cop. Her name is Essam, yeah, Sarah Essam, I think. And she has the idea, well, this whole Batman thing, it's going to take money, right? So why don't we talk to the richest guy in town, Bruce Wayne? He came back around the same time that, Batman came into being, sort of thing. So on their way to Wayne Manor, Jim Gordon sees that this delivery truck, or like a box truck, is speeding out of control, and the driver has been knocked out, or maybe he's fallen asleep. I can't really tell specifically, but he tells his partner to take the wheel as he jumps out to save or stop this vehicle. And that's at that point Batman comes and saves an old lady, because Batman is a hero, but Jim is just now figuring it out. And in his mind, up until this point, it's like, oh, this vigilante is doing things he ought not to be. But that in this moment, I think this is one of the first times that Gordon really realizes, oh wait, he might be working outside the law, but I mean, I've met enough of these bad cops to know that they're not really doing the right thing either. But because of all of this chaos, GCPD show up and they shoot Batman, and more than just shoot him, they're like trying to blow him up and do all kinds of bad stuff. The GCPD SWAT literally say that they're out to get a body, and the thing is, Batman's not going down without a fight. He's doing his best to stand up to all these bad guys. I'm actually surprised that some of the SWAT guys didn't kill each other with how much they were shooting up the building that the Batman was hiding in. But as Batman uses a like a bat collar, not like neck collar, but like a sonar thing to bring bats to him. And that's when to get the SWAT guys diverted basically so he can get away. Gordon realizes he sees the news cameras and all this, and he's like, oh man, these guys just made Batman the hero of Gotham City. And that's good because, as we know, Batman is the hero of Gotham City, and Gotham needs one because all the people they think that they can rely on, they sure can't. But after this realization I have my own realization, which is Gordon's new partner has the hots for him, and unfortunately, he has him back, and they have an affair that lasts for months. Because throughout this film, it tells you, a date, January 4th or August 18th, whatever. I mean, I'm probably not getting the dates right, but it tells you the date that this is happening because this is all throughout the first year of Bruce being back in town and Batman being created or existing. And so, Jim Gordon's wife is pregnant at home while he's having an affair with his partner, and it's sad, it's unpleasant, and it's really bad because Jim is somebody we, as the audience, can look at and say, now that's a good man, and then even he himself does, not good man stuff. But after some time has passed a little bit, Gordon does end up going to confront Bruce Wayne like his partner had because his partner had suspected Bruce to be Batman. But he goes to see Batman with his wife. And after Batman puts on this great show of being the playboy with a hired actress lady who pretends not to speak English, Jim and his wife are talking in the car, and she says how that, he's basically bad for being such a flamboyant ladies man, and then Jim feels bad, so he confesses to his wife that he's done wrong. And it's a moment within the film that really establishes the human nature of this good man who, again, didn't do a good thing, but thankfully his wife, while heartbroken, does they stay together. But the evil commissioner tries to use, not knowing that Gordon told his wife, tries to use the affair against him and calls up the wife and is like, oh, do you know about this? And she sadly hangs up and says, I know, and hangs up. And so all of this stuff is heavy stuff for an animated feature, but it's really good, and a lot of great stuff happens along the way. But one thing that happened is that Catwoman is inspired by Batman. She sees him going up against the police and seemingly being a modern day Robin Hood, and so that's when she decides to rob from the rich and give to the poor herself and her friends, basically. But she initially robs the Commissioner Loeb, but he has nothing of value in her mind, or that she feels like was worth it, and also Batman gets credit for it on the news, and she's frustrated, and so she has the idea that she'll go rob the Roman, Carmine Falcone, and then scratch him in the face, and so that it's clear that it's not Batman who robbed him, and so that she can get her just credit that she feels like she should have gotten for the commissioner job. So the funny thing is, when she goes to rob the Falcone family. Batman is already there trying to bust them for being bad, and so then they get into a little tussle. Batman does take down or fight off Carmine, but because Catwoman gives away his presence, he leaves. So she scratches him anyway, just so she can get the credit she wants. Um, the climax of the film is crazy. So even though the commissioner can't use the affair against Gordon, what he can do is use his mob ties to use his newly born son against him. So the commissioner gets together with the Carmine crime family and says, "No man is truly free when he has a child." And so the Carmines kidnap Gordon's wife and son. But Gordon, unlike anything that you see in the modern age on TV, where it's like, "Oh, stand down," or we're gonna take out your family, and then the good guy always stands down and is like, "Oh, I'm a little coward." No, Gordon's like, boom, boom, shoots the bad guys. Now, his son is already in the car, and so but he shot the folks that were trying to put his wife in the car. The car drives off, and Gordon takes out a man on a motorcycle, thinking it's one of the bad guys. Takes the motorcycle and goes after his son. Tells his wife to get to safety. But as the man who Gordon had taken down off the motorcycle gets up, we see it's Bruce Wayne in the shadows, but we know it's Bruce, and he tells Gordon's wife, he says, "I'm not going to let anything happen to your son," and he goes to help Gordon. And in the final scene of the film, or of the fight, Bruce does save the son, gives him to Gordon, but Gordon got in a fight with the bad guys. He lost his glasses, and he tells Bruce, he's like, "I'm basically blind without my glasses, so I couldn't begin to tell anybody who was here to help me," which I think is very relatable, because I can't even see my own face in the camera without my glasses on, and anybody with them will know that was a great line. And so to me, Batman Year One is a 4 out of 5 animated feature. It is very good. It is not my favorite Batman animated movie, and trust me, there is a plethora to choose from, because DC Studios, DC Animation loves making Batman movies. But this one is very good. If you've never seen it, if you've never read the story, read the story. If you've never watched the movie, watch the movie. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the first episode of Animation Celebration here on Monday Movie Mayhem. Movie Mayhem, whatever I called it. It'll say in the title. Come back Wednesday for the Wednesday Rewind, and we will see you on Friday for some Friday free-for-all. Thank you very much.